On December 17th, in Hubei, a woman at the Henan Postal Savings Bank experienced a financial crisis, asserting that her loan of 400,000 yuan was unknowingly withdrawn. The interest on the loan has since ballooned to over 900,000 yuan. Consequently, her bank has sued her and her house has been seized. This woman, who was advocating for her rights, fell to the ground, unable to cope with the unresolved situation. As her two children cry out for their collapsed mother, this scene draws significant attention and sympathy. Many netizens believe that the responsibility lies with the bank, questioning how the withdrawal of funds could go unnoticed. One of them states, "Of course, the responsibility lies with the bank. How could they not know who took the money?" Another netizen commented, "With surveillance cameras everywhere nowadays, how could such a blunder occur and the person responsible not be found? This was likely an inside job by someone at the bank. Living in China, we might as well just chuckle at such absurdities." Another comment from a netizen read, "Minor thieves operate in the wild, but the major ones are in the palace. It's unimaginable that the real robbers aren't masked villains, but are found in the institutions we trust the most, the banks." Moreover, in the times to come, we will see an increasing number of such news stories. They are bound to become more and more frequent. Before this, in late November, another appeal occurred at Zhejiang Bank. As we can see in the video, a large group of depositors is heatedly arguing with bank employees inside the bank. In China, such events of people standing outside banks demanding their rights have become increasingly common, especially since the pandemic. There have been numerous incidents involving banks experiencing crises, withdrawal difficulties, and spontaneous rights protest movements by depositors, including the notable 2022 Henan bank protests. An analysis of recent banking incidents in China reveals that the affected banks have transitioned from lesser-known village and town banks to larger, more prominent state-owned ones. This shift has been particularly noticeable, followed by a widespread debt crisis in the real estate sector, which has left China's financial industry quite unstable. Recently, both the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China and the China Construction Bank experienced system failures. On December 18th, numerous online posts revealed that customers were unable to withdraw money, either online or at physical branches. The situation with the construction bank escalated to the point where it became a trending topic online, ranking fourth on the trending search list. The internet was abuzz with complaints from customers unable to access their funds. One individual claiming to be an employee of the construction bank mentioned being in a stalemate with clients. On the same day, a Chinese media outlet questioned the construction bank about the system crash. An employee from a Guangzhou branch of the bank attributed the issues to system errors. This affected several banking services and led to customers being advised to leave the premises.
Due to communication difficulties, some of our bank's customers may experience delays or failures in processing transactions. We are addressing this according to relevant procedures to ensure the security of your account and funds. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause and ask for your understanding and patience.
A bank employee stated that multiple branches of the China Construction Bank experienced a system malfunction and advised customers to postpone their transactions. Apart from the inability to withdraw cash at the counter, self-service machines also failed to facilitate new account openings. On the day when the banking system incident occurred, the media again contacted the bank's customer service to inquire if the problem had been resolved. The customer service representative responded, "Since there have been no further reports of transaction failures, the system should be functioning properly now. But for confirmation on current transaction processing, we recommend consulting the nearest branch." The day before the China Construction Bank system crash, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China's app also encountered a system failure. Many users complained online about transaction issues, such as receiving messages like "no eligible card" or "account found and request processing failed. Please try again later." Attempts to contact the bank's customer service were unsuccessful due to the high volume of callers. On the same day, not only the Industrial and Commercial Bank, but also the Bank of Communications experienced a system crash. This was followed by the crash of other systems, including Shanghai's medical insurance, Alibaba Cloud, and Didi Technology. Alibaba Cloud had two incidents on November 12th and 27th. The Didi Technology malfunction resulted in a loss of millions of orders and over 400 million yuan in transaction volume. The collapse of one bank's system is concerning, but the simultaneous failure of three banks and multiple commercial apps raises suspicions about potential undisclosed reasons behind these breakdowns. A netizen noted, "Now China Merchants Bank is also having problems. Any transfer attempt shows a server error." Another user shared, "Our boss just warned our finance department that it's tough to withdraw cash from banks at the end of the year due to various reasons." A third netizen expressed their skepticism and said, Banks always make us wait endlessly due to system issues, but the exact cause of these crashes remains a mystery. This suggests the user has faced such issues more than once, leading to a general mistrust in bank reliability and system security. While the official reasons for the system crashes haven't been disclosed, netizens continue to have their interpretations. One user believes the bank failures are closely linked to the current economic situation in China.
银行系统
Can bank systems crash? First the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, then the China Construction Bank. Why would these banking systems collapse? I guess that normally, bank systems are maintained by third-party companies, but these companies, due to poor performance, have laid off a significant number of their workforce. With too few people left to manage the operations, problems will inevitably arise.
Others think China's declining economy negatively impacts bank operations. The burst of the real estate bubble has rapidly depleted the funds in banks, particularly towards the end of the year. This is evident as various financial incidents drain the bank's resources. Some speculate that banks might be deliberately hindering large withdrawals. The true reason behind these system crashes, as speculated by the public, remains unconfirmed. However, data released by the banks indicate that major Chinese banks are indeed struggling. A blacklist of Chinese financial institutions with continuous overdue bill issues, shared by internet users, Finance Database and Finance Truth, included several branches of the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. This revelation also pointed out the unusual frequency of continuous overdue bill incidents at many branches of the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. The exposed list shows 28 financial institutions with overdue bills, including 17 branches of the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, mainly starting from October 1st or November 1st of this year. Additionally, branches of the Bank of China and China Postal Savings Bank also appear on the list. Media verification suggests this list has a high chance of authenticity. This exposed list closely resembles two lists of acceptor overdue and continuous overdue lists that were previously released by the Shanghai Bill Exchange. Simply put, these lists highlight the failure of the banks to pay the bills. The concepts of acceptor overdue and continuous overdue are distinct. Acceptor overdue means that within 6 months, there are more than 3 instances of overdue bills, with an overdue balance at the end of the month or overdue activities within that month. Continuous overdue, on the other hand, occurs when there are more than 3 instances of acceptor overdue within 6 months. Netizens are paying close attention to this list. The bill being constantly overdue is seen as a crucial window into the debt status and credit risk of businesses or financial institutions. After analyzing this list, the operational status of some branches of the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China raises external concerns about the state of China's economy. It also raises the question of whether the after effects of the real estate industry's debt crisis have spread to the nation's overall financial system. Additionally, other major Chinese banks have not only frequently appeared on the overdue list, but have also experienced a decline in profitability. Statistics show that the 6 major state-owned banks in mainland China earned over 3.7 billion yuan daily in the first half of the year, but their profit growth rate has decreased compared to the end of last year. Unlike the performances in 2021, only the Postal Savings Bank exceeded a 10% net profit growth rate in the first half of this year, reaching just under 15%. But this is still lower than the profit earned of approximately 18.7% in 2021. The other 5 banks' growth rates hovered around 5% to 6%. In terms of asset quality, the non-performing loan balances of these 6 banks have risen since last year's end, with the 4 major banks continuing the increase in unattractive loan rates. The Chinese public is becoming increasingly accustomed to malfunctions in state-owned banks. Earlier this year, the Construction Bank experienced an incident involving the unjustified mass freezing of user bank cards.
Today, several of my bank cards have been blocked. The customer service told me it appears that the branch took protective measures on accounts to prevent telecommunication fraud and to ensure security. This step was taken while considering the safety of the accounts.
Users who experienced the recent frozen bank card turmoil expressed their frustration. One of the users complained, "My bank card was suddenly frozen without any clear reason. I needed money urgently and had to visit the bank in person to unfreeze it. At the bank, I found many others in line for the same issue. After waiting for over 3 hours, I couldn't get it resolved due to the bank's closing time, forcing me to borrow money from others. After this incident, I might not keep my money in the construction bank anymore. If they can freeze accounts for anti-fraud measures this time, who knows what might happen next and if my funds will be transferred out for some other reason." On December 1st, Chinese media reported that the National Administration of Financial Regulation revealed in a public notice that the China Construction Bank was fined over 37.9 million yuan for 18 illegal and regulatory violations, some of which were related to insurance fund business. The violations included unauthorized personnel selling fund products, illicitly representing unlicensed private equity funds, and illegally selling real estate trust products without proper real estate development qualifications. The frequent malfunctions of major Chinese banks are coupled with unprofessionalism among staff. Many incidents, such as staff fleeing with money and converting customer deposits into financial products for performance reasons, have left the Chinese public worried about the security of their savings in banks. Especially in China, if people's funds are not secure, defending their rights becomes extremely difficult. The ongoing crisis and rights defense process of the Henan village and town banks demonstrate the inefficacy of laws protecting individual savings in China. The crisis involving the Henan village and town banks and the ongoing struggle for depositor rights in China has been escalating for more than 18 months. However, due to information censorship, the Chinese public remains unaware of the true development and facts of the event. Last year, authorities initiated small deposit compensations, but there has been no news regarding large deposit compensations. External sources speculate that the Chinese government may have planned not to repay large depositors, aiming to reduce the size of the protesting group. On December 1st, the Rights Defense Network published an open letter titled "Open Letter from Henan Village and Town Bank Cardholders on Cross-Province Arrests During Our Rights Defense Campaign." The letter revealed that the depositors' funds were illegally frozen for over 600 days, preventing withdrawals. On November 26th, over 100 depositors, while avoiding tracking from the Henan government, detoured through Hubei to protest in Nanyang. Additionally, depositors from Anhui and Hubei were arrested by Henan authorities across provinces. The open letter accused the Henan authorities of robbing customers' deposits. The letter also pressured courts to categorize all bank card holders as participants in illegal fundraising, and is using this to confiscate depositors' funds. The Henan authorities also continued to arrest key depositors across provinces. Protesters captured were detained for 7 to 14 days and forced to admit to illegal fundraising. Many depositors remain missing, and some have left suicide notes as a last resort. Now these rights-defending depositors are facing a desperate situation. Courts nationwide are instructed not to accept cases related to the Henan village and town banks. Police often pay special attention to train tickets purchased by depositors traveling to Beijing for rights defense, restricting their freedom. Complaints to Chinese financial regulatory authorities are ineffective, with government departments simply passing the buck. But these depositors stated in the open letter that regardless of the difficulties ahead, they will fight against the authorities until their deposits are returned. The plight of the Henan village and town bank depositors demonstrates the difficulty of retrieving funds from banks once problems arise. Under the Chinese Communist Party's Red Terror, arresting rights defenders is a common tactic. In the eyes of the Chinese regime, the Chinese people have no human rights. It can be argued that this is one of the reasons why more and more Chinese citizens are hesitant to deposit their funds in banks. A Chinese entrepreneur living in America, Meng Jun, comments that with the continuous downturn in the stock market and the ongoing withdrawal of foreign capital, China's financial system is on the brink of collapse. He speculates that the Chinese government has set its sights on the nearly 200 trillion yuan in civilian deposits. The local governments that are saddled with debt are resorting to issuing bonds to pay off old debts. The public is encouraged to buy these bonds because of their substantial bank savings. Under the control of the Chinese Communist Party, the banking sector in China is facing new stringent regulations. These new rules have made it increasingly difficult for customers to withdraw large deposits from many banks. When attempting to withdraw funds, banks are now questioning the origin of the money, its legality, and whether taxes have been appropriately paid. Customers are required to provide proof for these inquiries, a development that is causing considerable concern and fear among bank users.